A copper wire shaped into a coil can purify the water of a river. The coil generates a low voltage current without the need for any battery. That current eliminates bacteria, Giardia, and dissolved heavy metals without filter cartridges, without purification tablets, without fuel. This method was studied by military engineers in 3 different countries. It was first documented in 1891. Then, the water treatment industry decided to systematically bury it. It buried it because it costs barely $2 and cannot be patented. This is called the copper current. In 1893, a Swiss botanist published his research on metals in natural water. He placed fragments of copper in jars containing river water samples. In less than 24 hours, the bacterial colonies had disappeared. He called this phenomenon the oligodynamic effect of metals on microbes. The word oligodynamic means that it acts with great power in small quantities. Copper released ions that attacked the cell walls of microbes. The coil shape released 7 times more ions than a flat wire. 7 times more effective, with exactly the same material cost. Soldiers in the field had also noticed this phenomenon. Copper canteens remained odor-free longer than tin ones. Soldiers who carried copper containers reported fewer intestinal infections. Indigenous peoples of the Amazon had known this for centuries. Spiral copper containers were used to preserve their drinking water. European travelers first described these rolled copper containers in 1642 during expeditions into the heart of the Amazon rainforest. In 1898, researchers from the University of Lisbon confirmed the results. Copper ions eliminated more than 92% of pathogens. The helical coil produced results that a flat wire could never have achieved. It was not theory, it was documented and independently verified. The science behind purification by copper current is well established. A 2006 report from the World Health Organization confirmed that copper reduces E. coli by 99.9% in contaminated water within 60 minutes of contact. This result surpasses most portable camping filters sold on the market. Commercial camping filters cost around $150 and eliminate fewer categories of pathogens than the copper coil. Field trials conducted in 2011 with copper coils in real natural water conditions showed a 94% reduction in Giardia cysts. Iodine tablets achieve on average only about 60% removal. Boiling water eliminates bacteria but leaves all heavy metals in the water. A copper coil eliminates both types of threats without the need for any fuel. The helical geometry is the key variable, generally unknown. A flat copper wire releases ions slowly over several hours. A coil wound at 300 turns per meter concentrates the field density and accelerates ion release by a factor of 7. Researchers have confirmed this geometric effect in writing. So why does almost no one know this method? The global bottled water industry generates $200 billion per year selling water that often comes from municipal taps. The portable water filter market collects $3 billion per year. Both industries depend on consumers being unaware of this technique. The oligodynamic effect of copper cannot be patented. You cannot sell a version that consumers must replace every year. You cannot create dependency with something that costs $2. The entire business model of the filtration industry is based on consumer dependency. Thus, the copper current was quietly reclassified as insufficient. Academic publications on copper funding were rejected. Wilderness survival manuals omitted this technique. Emergency preparedness guides published after 2010 never mentioned copper current purification methods. That silence was not accidental, it was a commercial decision. This is how a copper current filter is made today. Take 1 meter of standard copper wire available at any hardware store. Bend it into a tight coil containing at least 10 full turns. Each turn should measure approximately 5 centimeters in diameter. Submerge the coil completely in the container of water you're going to use. Connect a sheet of zinc or a galvanized nail to the opposite end. The 2 metals in contact with the water generate the necessary current. Wait 30 minutes per liter or up to 60 minutes for 5 liters. The water will not have a metallic taste if the contact time is respected. 1 coil lasts for years without the need for any replacement parts. A commercial filter requires cartridge replacement every month. The cartridge replacement industry generates more than €1 billion per year. An outdoor filter from a recognized brand costs $150. The copper coil system costs $2 one time and lasts for years. A family of 4 in a survival situation needs 5 liters of water per day. 3 coils working in rotation cover all their needs. 3 coils, $6 in total, without cartridges, without chemicals. Field doctors in remote areas use this system in practice. Humanitarian workers have documented the use of copper coils during floods. They reported successful elimination of E. coli in floodwaters. It is necessary to be honest about one limitation of this technique. Copper ions are more effective in still water, away from direct sunlight. Moving water in direct UV rays accelerate the oxidation of the coil. Replace the coil when it turns dark green or black on its surface. A darkened coil still works, but with reduced ion production. Store the coil in a dry, airtight container when not in use. Up to 500 liters can be treated with a single coil. That is 500 liters for a one-time cost of $2. Commercial filters designed for the same volume cost $60. Studies conducted in India tested storage in copper containers for a full 2 years. The results confirmed a daily reduction of 98% of pathogens. Researchers in Kenya tested copper coils in rural well water. The coils remove lead and arsenic, along with all biological threats. These results were published in scientific journals and then ignored by the industry. They demonstrated that copper coil systems reduced waterborne diseases by 37% in camps with no budget for filters. This study was published in 2016 in the International Journal of Environmental Health Research. There is no advertising campaign for oligodynamic purification. There are no sponsored publications teaching the copper coil technique. There is no commercial packaging designed for a bent copper wire, because a bent copper wire generates no recurring income. The filtration industry is entirely sustained by the replacement of what you buy. When you own a copper coil, you become independent in terms of water forever. It is exactly that independence that the industry has been fighting for decades. It does not fight it with force, it fights it with silence. Silence in educational programs, silence in survival guides, silence in every emergency manual distributed by governments, silence in camping equipment catalogs. But silence cannot survive in the age of the internet. Every person who learns this technique represents one less customer for the industry. Every coil built is a filter they cannot charge you for. This knowledge is older than any company that has tried to erase it, and it will outlive all the industries that benefit from burying it. This knowledge has not died. It was waiting to be rediscovered, waiting for someone to bend the copper and test untreated water. You are not seeing a simple trick. You are witnessing a recovery. The recovery of knowledge that some have spent decades trying to make disappear. Knowledge does not die when it is shared. It multiplies.